This meeting is being recorded.
Hi, this is Lynn Charles with 4pointe, and I'm doing a series of interviews with professional dancers, students, to hear viewpoints and thoughts on pointe work, pointe shoes, and pointe in general. Today, I am here with Natalie. Natalie, tell us your full name.
My name is Natalie. I'm from Canada.
Where in Canada?
Montreal.
Okay. So my first question to you then is, where and when did you first start pointe?
I started, I was about 12, 13 years old in a very, very small studio back home.
Back home in Montreal?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And how was your first experience with pointe? Was it a positive one, a negative one, a scary one, a happy one?
Well, it was a little scary, to be honest. The reason why is because the girls were much more advanced than I was. And we were already doing piqué arabesque in the center. I had barely enough experience in pointe at that time to do that. So it was a bit scary. But I was still longing for it, but it wasn't, it was a bit scary.
Okay. Were you able to catch up, or did you feel in this experience that there wasn't enough time and attention given to you to help you catch up?
I've always felt like I needed to catch up. Yeah. Even as I continued growing, etc., I always felt I needed to catch up because I feel like the first formative years are really important. And the slow and steady wins the race eventually. So, yeah.
Have you had any foot injuries?
Foot injury, no.
Have you had any injury?
Yes, absolutely. So pre-COVID, I was quite injured in my knee, the left knee. It's due to lack of proper use of turnout. So that was pretty debilitating for a while. I've been off for 2 years, so this kind of set me back. But I like to think that this is a thing of the past now.
Okay, but so yours wasn't a foot injury, but you still were injured. So for 2 years, you were not able to do pointe work.
Correct.
Yeah. And so how was it coming back to pointe after being injured and being off for 2 years?
It was really challenging. It was extremely challenging because of the weakness. I mean, you lose your strength quite quickly in ballet. But I was always hopeful. And this is why I was so grateful to have met you in that time.
Thank you. We'll get to that in a second.
Of course.
What about issues with pointe shoes? How has your experience with that been?
Well, that has been also a challenge. I don't have the most flexible foot, so getting on top of my arch or on top of my box was always challenging. So yeah, finding the right pointe shoe was a bit challenging for me.
Were there shoes that were more comfortable for you to work in, and shoes that were less comfortable? You don't have to mention the name, but was there a difference in the shoe? Did it make a difference in how you stood on pointe?
Oh, absolutely. So typically tapered box with a tapered shoe with a shorter vamp has worked the best for me so far. But it was a lot of trial and error. So, I never stuck to one brand or one type of shoe for an extended period because I kind of needed to find something better. I was always on the lookout for something better.
Okay. So now we come to 4pointe. What was your introduction and what was your experience with 4pointe?
Well, the short story is that it changed my life. I think my work and my approach to pointe, absolutely. I feel that now I'm working in synergy with the shoe and with my feet and with my placement at the same time. And I'm feeling that I'm becoming one with the movement and the shoe and the point technique versus kind of trying to catch up and, being hesitant. I feel I'm much more on top of my feet and on top of my pelvis as I've been working with 4pointe.
Good. Without talking good or bad about anyone, because that's not what this is about.
Yeah.
Could you just give me a point of view in how 4pointe differs for you than a normal point class?
Oh, absolutely. I think it's very methodical. So because the method is very consistent from class to class, you feel stronger within the exercise every time you do 4pointe. And it's in that strength that you feel the confidence and the calmness to, I don't know how to say it, to like articulate your feet better, be aware of your placement better within the set of exercise. So I really loved it.
Cool. What do you, if someone were to ask you, what do you feel is lacking in the basic point technique of today? Not 4pointe, but in normal point class?
I feel like, based on my experience, I think it would be great if there was more emphasis in the very basic kind of core at the bar work to get the strength in your feet and in your body before moving and doing the very fancy or dreamy sections in the center. Because I feel like once you have the technique in you, you're much freer in the center instead of the other way around, if I must say.
And do you feel that 4pointe is helping you in this direction?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And do you have a favorite 4pointe exercise?
Yes. Can I name it?
Absolutely, absolutely. Everybody has to tell their favorite exercise.
It's the Sarah Mearns. I love it. It's like, I don't know. It's great.
Favorite of several people, actually. And
Yeah.
just one last question. How do you feel that, or what do you feel would be the benefits for other people in doing 4pointe?
Oh, just this wonderful awareness of knowing that we're all capable of mastering point work and the point technique. I know some of us might have been lucky and have like exceptional training from a young age, but still then, whether, wherever you fall in the life cycle of professional ballet work, it's just the fact that, it just solidifies your point technique. It's as simple as that. And then you're more empowered to do more advanced things in the center.
Well, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.
You're welcome.
Say bye.
Bye.